Hi all, I'm Melissa and welcome to Oh My Word Melly. So today I am here with my November reading wrap up. In the month of November I read 7 books. So if I recall correctly, I had 4 normal length novels and 3 novellas as well. Yeah, 3 novellas as well that I read in the month of November. And November was this period where I transitioned into the holiday season. I read some books that are not in the holiday season but gradually navigated or transitioned into the holiday season and ended up reading some holiday books as well. So I can't wait to tell you all about these 7 books that I read and give you all a mini review or a recap of what I thought on these books. So without further ado, let's get into my reading wrap up. So in November, before I get into the books actually, there were some books that I had to read to complete my uppercase YA reading challenge that I was following this entire year, and I had 3 books left to complete the challenge, and guys, I read them first in November and I'm so excited to say that I finished the challenge. I did not think that I would be able to finish the challenge, but I really did enjoy doing this reading challenge and reading books that I normally wouldn't. So I read the last 3 books of the challenge at the beginning of November, and then with that the transition happened. If you all are wondering what this reading challenge is, you can click up here where I talk to you all or introduce you all to the challenge, as well as then I did another video. Again, that video is also here where I tell you all the progress of this challenge, and now I finally can say that I completed the challenge. So the first book of November is none other than About a Girl by Lindsay Kelk. Guys, you all know Lindsay Kelk is one of my favorite authors, and I read most of her books, most of the books this year as well, and then I talk about I Heart series as well. And I have had this book since 2017 and I finally got to read this. This is book 1 of a trilogy. I think it is the About the Girl trilogy as well, which I cannot remember, but I have book 2 and 3 as well. But my target for the reading challenge was to read this book, a book that I had on my TBR for 5+ years, and I read it, and I got to say this is the first Lindsay Kelk book where I had mixed feelings. I can't say I loved it or it blew my mind, I can't say that, but I enjoyed it sometimes, I did not like it sometimes, so I was a little bit torn in this book. It's a Lindsay Kelk book, and people actually love this more than the I Heart series and all that, and I just thought this was average. So how this starts is this particular girl is having a very tough time, and then she has this major crush on her best friend, who she finds out slept with her roommate, and then she goes into this midlife crisis or existential crisis kind of thing, and then she makes a split second decision where she assumes the roommate's identity, takes a job which the roommate is MIA for, and pretends to be this particular roommate, and goes to Hawaii, I think. Yeah, so she goes to Hawaii to cover this major fashion event as a photographer, and then she meets the journalist who is covering this whole fashion event, and then it's instant attraction, frenemies to lovers, and the tension and all that, and they fall for each other. Then he finds out that she is pretending to be someone else, and then he leaves, and it was so much of drama. But I'm telling you, at the beginning it was, I don't like you, I'm going to fight this tension, I'm not going to sleep with you kind of thing, and then they do the deed and then they are still at each other's throats, and then she finds out that her roommate actually like stole her work and got rich, and this huge as job the roommate has, which she assumed in this trip, and to see that she deserved it at the end because the roommate stole her what do you say photographs and pretended to be her photographs and landed a very successful photography life, which the roommate sucked, and it was actually Tess who needed it. So much of drama. Like I deal with drama. I have read books with drama, but this was just so much of drama. I don't know why, but like at the beginning or like throughout, majority of the book is about in Hawaii, where she's trying to fight off this attraction and then falling for each other even though she's not supposed to, and then at the end grand gestures and getting back together. And now the book ends with a cliffhanger where I kinda like. So I ended up enjoying the book towards the latter part. The first part I was just meh, kind of. I didn't hate it to a point where I wanted to DNF it. No, don't get me wrong there. I love the style of writing. I just didn't know how to deal with the drama in the book. Like so many things was just happening. It was just very mixed for me. But now the way the book ended at that cliffhanger makes me want to read book 2. So I really need to read book 2, which I cannot remember the name of. I am going to read book 2, hopefully next year, book 2 and 3, but that is About a Girl by Lindsay Kelk. I'm telling you, like, pick it up. It's a really nice book, but compared to the other Lindsay Kelk books, I think this was just average for me. Almost forgot, I gave this book a 3-star rating, and that's like the lowest I have given a Lindsay Kelk book, and I can't believe it. But guys, I am hooked into this series because towards the end I actually liked how it was progressing, and now she has to make a life-changing decision to follow her dreams and her heart as well as the person that fills her heart. I think this is like one of the monthly reading wrap-ups where I'm actually taking some physical books and showing, because the next book is I Kissed Shara Wheeler by Casey McQuiston. Guys, Casey McQuiston's books are always the best. I have read Red, White and Royal Blue and then One Last Stop, and then when I saw this, I had to pick it up. However, this is going to sound exactly like Lindsay Kelk's book, because this book was just a mess. This gave me so much of Pretty Little, like the Pretty Little Liars vibes, because like a teen goes missing at prom, and to see she's leaving clues for these 3 people to find her, playing tricks, and like they are finding clues, and I'm like, so much like Allison, and just for the sake of attention, because one of those 3 people are a girl called, I think, Chloe, and like she and this Shara girl never got along. They were like more competitors, but because she didn't like Shara, and everyone else in this town or this city worships Shara, like Shara is the it girl, Shara is the one to be friends with. Because Chloe was this anomaly, Shara wanted the attention, and then the other 2 guys is one is Shara's neighbor who has a secret crush on Shara, while the other is Shara's boyfriend. And then, like, gosh, like the majority of the book is about these fellows running behind clues, finding the next clue, trying to find out where this woman is, and like navigating through high school. Like this is like a YA book, and also discovering how they represent themselves. Like this book is full of representation, diversity, which I absolutely love in Casey McQuiston's books, right? Like I really love the diversity, the LGBTQ representation, and like everyone on the spectrum, and equality, and how they fight against people who are homophobic, or like people who are judging. Will basically say that like racist Hans. But yeah, so how they are navigating not being welcomed, and like they are going to this school where it is heavily Catholic driven, and if you are gay or anyone on the spectrum, that you are a sinner kind of thing. And basically at the end, this Shara girl just wanted the attention and figures out she actually was in love with Chloe, though she thought she was competing against Chloe, and like it was just a whirlwind. And I was like, gosh, why am I just reading this? Again, did not want to DNF it. For some reason, I was hooked, but also I was getting so annoyed with this, and I'm like, why? And then all of a sudden, when Chloe finds Shara, they make out, and now they are dating, and I'm like, the heck? Like, all this for that? Like, just, I don't get it. So if you want to read this, do read it, because I love Casey McQuiston's style of writing, but this book is just utterly confusing. That is where I'm going to go with this review. Again, I keep forgetting to tell you all my rating. I gave this also a 3-star rating. The third book for November is Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. This is the prequel to The Hate You Give, like this book. If you all want to know my review on this book, because this book has a special place in my heart, watch my review on The Hate You Give. It just blows my mind. I watched the movie as well, but the book was amazing. So that's about this. So that's going to be on a side. So Concrete Rose actually follows Star's father, Maverick. So Star is again the main character of The Hate You Give, and this is before Star was born. The difficulties Maverick had to go through as being a part of this drug gang, or I don't know, the King Lords, and trying to get out of it because he had to focus on children. Sometimes it was kind of funny, but I did not bond with it as much as I did bond with The Hate You Give. I enjoyed this, like it was about putting yourself first and getting out of the gangs and putting family first, because he was a teen father. So that was a nice vibe for me, because I always read like single moms or teen moms kind of plots, and to have a teen father who had to look after his children and put them first while trying to navigate these drug lords and the world of drugs, and trying to deal with racists and all that, and actually being a concrete rose. So the analogy of the concrete rose is where if you actually do the right grooming, the treatments for a rose, no matter through winter or even through concrete, the rose will bloom kind of thing. So it follows something like that. Before I forget, I gave this a 3-star rating as well, because for some reason this is fast paced, you can finish it in a day, but I did not bond with it as much as I bonded with The Hate You Give. But it's all about dealing with what life serves you. It's not going to be easy, but it's about knowing where your priorities lie. That's what I'm going to say about this book. Loved it. I have one more book of this trilogy on the come up to read as well. Hopefully next year I will read this, or year after, I don't know. But I truly like this. Like it gave me so much of perception towards Maverick's character in The Hate You Give. Like it made sense now about his character in The Hate You Give. So I really loved it. And the meaning, or like why Star was named Star, or why Star's brother was named Seven, like all that, it was just amazing. I know I gave it like a low rating, but it's a really nice book. It gives you a lot of perception to life. Like you will have to think, like the perspective of life would change. Again, it's not a book that I could bond with that much, but it was really nice to read and see how he overcomes things or challenges that he had to face. This is Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. The next book is Snowbound by Emmanuel Snow. So I got the ARC of this book, and this book was released on the 22nd of November. So before that I got the ARC, because as always I am on Emmanuel Snow's ARC team. I'm one of the snowmates and I love her books, guys. So when I knew this book was coming out, I had to read it, because this book has a very special place in my heart. And with Snowbound, I transitioned into reading holiday books. So sometime back, Emmanuel Snow wrote this Christmas novella called Sun and Country, where it follows one of the characters in the Carter Hills Band series called Anderson, and how he was stuck because of a snowstorm in the airport, and he comes across this beautiful girl, and things happen that changes the entire trajectory of both of their lives from that day on. That novella just had my whole heart. Like I always fall in love with all of Emmanuel Snow's books, but Sun and Country just didn't deserve to only be a novella, and I kept begging her to write a book. And now she is writing this story, the full-length story of Anderson and Abigail and Alexei, and I just can't wait for part 2. And she's writing this as a duet, and book 1 of that duet is Snowbound, and I can't wait for book 2. So it goes into more details of what happens when they are snowbound in the airport, and after that how Abigail has to navigate life with her new kind of situation, which I don't want to be spoilery, and where Anderson is trying to build his career in music and is also trying to find this girl he met for one night in the airport when they were snowbound. And this just breaks my heart. Like, I know glimpses of the entire story, right, because of this novella. So first read the novella Sun and Country if you can get it, and then you will know what you all are in for. And this part 1 is just perfect. I just know part 2 is gonna wreck me. Like, it is like I just don't even know how to handle this. Like, being a teen mom, so spoiler alert, guys, and trying to navigate life with a toddler who has an illness or an ailment just breaks my heart, and trying to find the father of the toddler as well. At the same time, though the father doesn't know about this, the father is trying to find the girl as well, and how her parents put her out of the house where she has to live in shelters. My goodness, I just can't. Emmanuel Snow writes always emotional books, emotional romance books. She gives it in her epilogue as well, where she gives like trigger warnings, as well as she says she writes like emotional books. I gave this book a 5-star, and I can't wait for part 2, because I want that full story. I want the full experience. I want to know how this is going to play off, guys. I just couldn't. I devoured this book in a day. As always, Emmanuel Snow's writing is amazing, and like how one night being snowbound in an airport could change everything in life, and about being resilient and not giving up and still doing the best for everyone, including yourself, and never giving up is like a theme in this book. I absolutely loved it. I love the family, the found family feeling, and friends that would always stick by you kind of thing was like perfect. This book was perfect. That's all I can say. So do check out Snowbound by Emmanuel Snow. It's released now for everyone. And Snow, if you're watching this, I want book 2. I can't wait. I really want to know how things are going to change for Anderson as well. Next is where I got into novellas. So I had to read this because I had this book for some time, and like I had this as an ARC because it was released on the 1st of December, and that is same time next year by Tessa Bailey. When I got this book, I just could not wait. I had to read this, and in some regions this was released early, so maybe some of y'all did get it early as well, but the official release was the 1st of December. Starting off, I gave this a 4-star read, and I absolutely love this as a novella where it had marriage of convenience, and they falling in love with each other, you know, and then sports romance, like things that I absolutely love, and where 1 year later on New Year's Eve, where they again propose to each other. I just couldn't get enough of this, like the tension where they were just friends, then to lovers with the marriage of convenience, where the guy has fallen first even before the marriage, and where the girl gradually understands that she is absolutely in love with him. This was a really amazing fast-paced read. I just wish I read it at the end of the year where it was corresponding, or like it was aligning with Nivea as well according to the plot. But however, I don't regret reading it earlier. I really enjoyed it, but like it was so cute how she was like, no, I don't want to sleep with you, this sexual tension is not going to work with me, and like we are not going to do it, I'm just marrying you for the sake of you staying back in the country and not ruining your career. Or I think they were in ice hockey if I'm not mistaken, but to see she's actually falling for him, and he's such a cute cinnamon roll, such a caring hunkadori. Because for someone with, like, the way they have described this male main character, he's like this huge hunk of a player, you know, big made and all that, but he's a softie and so romantic. He gives her space that she needs to actually understand that she's in love with him and all that. So it was amazing. I love romance books. I love holiday novellas, and Tessa Bailey's writing, man, like I cannot complain. And it was so nice to see how they were falling in love with each other and how they were getting jealous of certain things. Just absolutely enjoyed it. So do check out Same Time Next Year by Tessa Bailey. So the next is an actual short novella. Like it's a standard novella with just 60 pages, and that is The Holiday Hookup by Bailyn Crow. So when I kept seeing this in like holiday recommendations across Instagram and all that, I added it to my TBR. This was released back in 2021, and I'm actually disappointed. I gave this a 2-star rating, and to a point where I wanted to DNF it, but it was such a short read, I just pulled through it. Like I pushed through it and I just made myself read it. The name says holiday hookup, so you think it's a hookup on holidays. It's kind of something like that. It's very straightforward, but what you don't think is one of the guys' name is also Holiday. So this is an romance, and it follows like workplace romance, enemies to lovers. You know, this one guy who doesn't stop pursuing this other guy until he says yes, and then that guy realizes, he's like, yeah, I kind of like him too, and grumpy sunshine vibes and all that, and I'm like, eh. So this book I think had 5 or 6 chapters, like that's it, and like the first I think 6 or 7, anyway, there is only one chapter at the end from the second main character, and the others are by the first main character, and I'm like, why? Like why? I did not like this book. Again, this revolves around this office Christmas party, and where one guy is trying to convince the other to be his date, and they have this secret Santa thing where they are each other's secret Santa kind of, and one guy being such an annoying person. Also, this has characters on the spectrum, like I said, and I just have nothing more to say about this book. I did not like it. I gave it a 2 star, but I think it's like a 1.5 star. Like it was, it was, it was. That's all I can say. But yeah, that's the Holiday Hookup by Bailing Crow. If you want, check it out. I don't think I'll recommend this. No. Oh my word! The last book of November was also a novella, a Christmassy novella, and 2 books in a row, guys. This book is also by Emmanuel Snow, and that is Wicked Love. So, Wicked Love is a holiday novella that Emmanuel Snow wrote as a novella in a shared universe. So, a few authors got together and they were going to write some holiday novellas in one universe called Mistletoe Grove, I guess. And this is one of the books in that universe, and by Emmanuel Snow. Guys, I still didn't read the others. I really want to, but Wicked Love is my next best book by Emmanuel Snow. I just love it. It follows this step brother romance kind of thing, and where they just so it's like a one night stand with this high schooler who pretends to be someone in college or someone who is elder than she is, and they meet at a bar, they have a one night stand, and the next day he finds out, oh my word, this is my stepsister or my father's, fiance's daughter. And like, and then how do you deal with that? And this woman is small. That is where like he just committed a crime kind of thing, and how they have to navigate it, and like no matter how much of attraction, the tension they have, how they have to fight against it. And also from the girl's point of view, Grace, like she is going through a lot with her mother, who is Joe's stepmother, because her mother used to be a pageant queen and like is very figure conscious, where her daughter or Grace ends up to be like a curvy person by birth itself, and the mother is just very abusive to her because of her shape, and like she thinks Grace is an anomaly or like abnormal person because she has curves, and like figure shames her. Everything is about Grace's figure, and like wow, that was just traumatic. Again, Emmanuel Snow writes emotionally packed books, and like I just couldn't believe a mother could be that cruel. And where Joe, even though the stepbrother has feelings for Grace and doesn't, like, he can't stand this woman, right? Like Grace's mother, his stepmother, and like they just run away from the father's and this stepmother's wedding to a place called Mistletoe Grove, or some place called Mistletoe, which is like a place out of a Hallmark movie, like a 24/7 Christmas destination, and they go there during this Christmas period, where they have from tree lightings to gingerbread houses and so many amazing, like beautiful Christmassy events, and they fall in love with that place, where they end up staying in a very gingerbread house kind of cabin, and they start falling for each other, trying to figure out how this is going to work out as step siblings, like what are people going to think about this, and finally giving in to their feelings and falling in love, and also navigating all this trauma that Grace goes through, and Grace discovering what her calling is in life and working towards achieving that, and Joe supporting her all the way. And a very tragic event makes them realize that they can't stay away no matter what people say, and then facing their parents, coming clean, as well as navigating everyone else in society, and just not giving a shit about it and putting themselves first. Like It is so the way Emmanuel Snow explained this book to me was it's like an Hansel and Gretel retelling with twisted with spice, heat, and romance. Whoa, the heat was just on, like it, that tension, man, it just drives you there. You're almost there, and again they stop, again it's there, and I'm like, come on, just jump her bones kind of thing. I know that's not something I should tell on this video, but I absolutely loved it. Like, I just want more of them. And then the epilogue, or like prologue, what is that last part anyway? I just I just fell in love with it. Like, Joe and Grace are just so cute together. Like, they are like the perfect couple. Like, the one true pairing, the OTP of OTPs is what I could say. And Wicked Love just made me want to watch more Hallmarky Christmassy movies and like give the perfect Christmas setting, and it just sounded so magical to live in a Christmassy town, and how their future is molded, how things cross paths with the Carter Hills band crew, or like those characters as well, just absolutely amazing. And Wicked Love also has this connection to Snowbound, because Joe is Anderson's roommate from Snowbound, so it's like Joe's story of finding love, but it's very unconventional and truly, truly amazing. I just love how Emmanuel Snow addresses certain harsh topics in a really amazing way, bringing awareness to things that are actually happening in society, in the world, and how she shows her characters overcome them and all that. So absolutely amazing. Do check out Wicked Love. This was released on the 1st of December as well, and now you all can pick it up. I just am blown away with it. I gave it a 5-star rating, and that is of no surprise, right? Like, beautifully, beautifully written, and I absolutely love it. Like, 2 Emmanuel Snow books in a month, and I'm not complaining, guys. I just want more of Emmanuel Snow. So those were the 7 books that I read in the month of November, and just my thoughts on it. I know these are not like extensive reviews and all, but it is just telling you about what I thought, what I felt when reading the books, and just giving y'all a recap of my reading. So if y'all did enjoy these recommendations, don't forget to add them to your TBR as well, and also give this video a thumbs up, and also share it with friends and family. Also, if you all want to see more of me and my bookish thoughts, recommendations and everything bookish, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, as well as click on this little bell icon so that you get notified every time I post a new video. So with that, I think it's time for me to wrap up this video, and with the promises of more bookish fun, here is me saying bye from Oh My Word Melly.